it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. And today I've got more Christmas because, of course, we are allowed to show you the inside of the catalogue. Now that we have gone live, it's permitted to show you not just the products, but the inside of the catalogue as well. So, let's turn to page 38 of our catalogue. And I should say, if you don't already have a catalogue and you're in the UK, hop over to my website and go to the catalogue page, and there's a form on the catalogue page to request your own paper copy. And fingers crossed, assuming the website elves have done their job, there will be a PDF copy available as well. I'm recording this ahead of time, so hence the fingers crossed. Anyway, so on page 38 we are going to use the Spirited Snowmen stamp set and one of these shimmer paints. We're going to use the Frost White shimmer paint, which I think you've seen me use before. And we're going to make this cute little card, and he wobbles and everything. And it's just, I don't know, he's just so cute. He's bouncing up and down with joy, and it just makes me smile. So winter cheer seemed appropriate. Right, so I should say that the wobble comes courtesy of some things called mini wobbles. Sorry, mini action wobbles. Let's get the terminology right. I got them off Amazon. I will put a link on my website for how I got them and to these, because they come in two sizes, and this is the mini size, which is significantly smaller and fits perfectly behind our little snowman. So let's get started. We're only using 2 ink pads, which is always a joy. We've got some technique to do and some painting. And apparently I've just decided having a little tickle in my throat is a good idea, so bear with me. Okay, that's a bit better. So I've got everything in my little box that we're going to need. But let's start by showing you the full version of the stamp set. So we've got your Friendship Warms My Heart, some holly, Winter Cheer, Snowflakes, which we'll be using, and Winter Cheer we'll be using. This Jumping for Joy snowman, Love Never Melts, and look at that, isn't that so cute? And then an ice skating snowman. It's red rubber. I've got it on the clear mount version. So yeah, really nice stamp set. We will be doing some fussy cutting, some colouring in, all sorts of good stuff. So I'm going to start by inking up my snowman, because I want him to be fully dry by the time we come to colour him in. Now, you could use stays on. I have stays on. I'm not a great fan of stays on. It's okay, it's just a bit of a messy clean-up, because you need specific stays on remover unless you want your stamps to stain, which is fine. It doesn't damage them per se, but because of the chemicals that are in it, I certainly wouldn't use it on photopolymer. It's okay on red rubber, but Memento, once it dries, is waterproof. It says so on the back here. It says, when dry, stamped impressions are water resistant. So not quite waterproof, but good enough. But we're going to leave it to dry just so that it's not just good enough, but perfect. Whisper White cardstock. This is cut at my usual second layer, which is 5.5 by 3 3/4 inches, 14 by 9.5 centimetres. Don't worry about dimensions. They are all on the blog post, which is linked immediately below. So, the first thing I'm going to do is get this sort of snowy effect in the background. So, I have a scrap here, and it was a flyer for my team, because it was for the my August team challenge. I issue them with a challenge kit every month, and one of them is a lucky winner every month, and they get a reward voucher as a prize. And I had some spare flyers, so I'm doing a waste not, want not. So, tear your paper, and then we're going to, where we want the colour to be, so for snow, you're going to want the colour to be on top of your hills, just with a sponge dauber, and start off your scrap of paper. Just add some ink across your page. You don't have to be too precise, and you don't actually need that much because a little goes a long way. And then you can change your angle and, you know, move it around a bit so that you don't end up with the same, actually let's do that, with the same hills all the time. And then just, and I do tend to, rather than do a, for this, rather than doing a lot of circle, I tend to do more of a sweep. She says, and then goes into a circle motion. But yeah, I tend to do more of a sweep. And then I'll just do one more right up at the sort of top edge here. And am I on camera? Yes, I am, just about. Let's move up a bit. I normally work on the basis that so long as I'm on the grid paper, you can see me. So fingers crossed, that is correct. So that is our snowy background. So it's just hills, really. So let's get our stamp, and I'm using the snowflake stamp. Now you'll notice that all of the stamped impressions have got this sort of fuzziness around them, which is meant, and it's just a kind of cuteness. So I'm going to be using this, and again I'm using Balmy Blue. Did I say I was using Balmy Blue? I'm not sure I did. And all I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do any full strength, but I will do some one stamped off, and some, let's do some that way, and some third generation. So I'm doing second and third generation stamping. So it's, I may even do some fourth, yeah. So we're just building up a light background just to kind of add a bit of something, really. So that's that. Then I need a little scrap of Whisper White for my sentiment, which I know I've got here somewhere. I'm burying it. I've buried it somewhere. Oh, it's still in the box. So again, Balmy Blue, and it's the Winter Cheer again. And I'm going to come towards the bottom of my piece of cardstock, like that. And then I've got the 1 3/8 inch scallop edged punch, circle punch, and it fits really nicely into that. And I've got it sort of this edge. I could put it right the way down at the bottom, but it doesn't line up so nicely. And I wanted it lined up here, and I may, as I did in the original, cut off the edge. So we'll just punch that out. And then before we put away our ink, I'm going to just add some ink around the outside. And that just helps add a bit of dimension. You could punch out a circle from some Balmy Blue cardstock. We will be using some Balmy Blue cardstock to finish the card off. So you could just punch a circle out of the middle of that. So as this is a 1 3/8, you could go for a 1 1/2 circle, and that would give you a round circle rather than a scalloped circle. Right, okay, so our little chap is probably dry by now, or dry enough. I have got a little ink palette in which I've got some Balmy Blue re-inker, but you could just add it by getting some into the lid. So by squeezing the ink into the lid and then picking it up with your aqua painter. You need some water in there anyway, so if you don't have re-inker, but I use just 1 drop of re-inker, and then a little bit of the pearlescent, so a little bit of the frost white. This is my little shimmer ink pot holder. So I used a little bit of the frost white. You could use one of the other colours. The champagne would work quite nicely, but it's a slightly greyer colour. So hence the frost white, because I want this to look, and look, you mix it up and it goes all shimmery. It's gorgeous. Now this is only Whisper White, so it will, it doesn't love water, but it works fine if you don't add too much water to your colouring. And so long as you don't kind of go back over it too much. It will, to begin with, just bubble a bit. so the surface of the paper will bubble up a bit. That's fine, it will dry back down. You could use watercolour paper, but I wanted the white, and our watercolour paper is not a true white. And you could use the thick Whisper White, but the ordinary Whisper White is working fine. So I'm adding the blue colour where there is, well, as I see it, shadow. And then I'm just going to clean my brush off on some kitchen paper. And then in here I've got some now dried, but add some water and it soon goes back to life. Just plain, what's it called, frost white. And I'm just going to add that over anything that I want to just be white, so the brim of his hat. And just blend that in. So, and again, I'm coming over the blue and then blending in, just so that you soften that edge a wee bit. Don't go too mad or you will end up with your paper pilling, which is not something you particularly want to happen. And then that's that. I'm not cleaning my brush off deliberately at the moment. Right, colouring. I have used the in colours, the 2018-2020 in colours, just to bring a bit of a pop of colour. And it means that we've got a nice blue, a nice sort of pinky red, and the Grapefruit Grove makes a perfect carrot. It's as if I planned it. And because it's just the in colour palette, you can get the set, it's just a set of 5. So it's quite a nice little set. Great for a Christmas gift, because it's just the 5. So if you're looking for a stocking filler or something for a crafty friend. Now do be careful, you possibly want to wait until everything's dry before you add this, because it is ink. So if anything else is wet and you touch onto that, it will bleed. But just be aware. So that's that. Then the lovely lipstick. So this is the Blueberry Bushel, and then lovely lipstick for the polka dots on his hat. And obviously you could do any colour you want. I just didn't want to go over the top on product, because I like to stretch products as much as possible. And it's all very well saying, and take a sheet of this and a thing of that and a doofer of what else. Oh no. So I did black boots there, and I'm not convinced that I like black boots. So I'm going to use lovely lipstick for this one, because why not have red wellies? So yes, you can end up, if you've, as a demonstrator, you know, you kind of have more than most people probably in the way of product. And it's very easy to say, and use this and use that and use the next thing, and suddenly you realise it's cost £200 to make a card. So I do try, don't always succeed, but I do try to not. Now, one of the Stampin' Up markers you can buy individually is the black. So we can add his black buttons, and we can have black stick arms. Now if you've got early espresso, that would be perfect as well, or soft suede, but I don't want to assume you've got it. And then same for his little legs. And there we go. Now what you can do is you can then come in and with your still frosted paintbrush, you can frost his boots, or her boots. Just be aware that you will then be picking colour up and putting it into your palette, so you want that to be the last thing you do. And that is that done. Now you would then fussy cut. I am not going to sit here and make you watch me fussy cut. So here's one I've made earlier, but I used the Blueberry Bushel for his boots. So slightly different but the same. Other than that, it's exactly the same. So let's pop everything together, she says, desperately trying to shut up her Stampin' Up marker box. Right, okay. So we need our background, one background. So this card I've done in a slightly different dimension, not dimension, but yeah, dimension. So I've done it as a landscape, but that way. You could do it with a tent fold, but I'm never convinced. All I would say though is if you do a tent fold and you do send this for Christmas, I'm sorry, I love just playing with my little wobbly snowman. If you do it tent fold, we certainly hang all of our Christmas cards off a string. So if you do it tent fold with the fold at the top, then it will be the right way up when it's hanging. So just worth bearing in mind. But I do find it easier to have my cards that way for photography and that sort of thing. So I have got not balmy blue. That is so not balmy blue. That is pool party. So here's a piece of balmy blue. So this is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, so 14 1/4 by 9 3/4 centimetres. But again, as I say, the dimensions are down below. So let us stick one to t'other. So I'm going to just start by adding a scribble of glue around the edge of my card and in the middle. And then pop this on my balmy blue, like so, and then grab my wobbler. Now, there's a right way to attach your wobbler and a wrong way to attach your wobbler. You want, one side is see-through, so this side, the complete side if you like, the plastic is see-through, this side is white. So you want to turn your little chap over, and I don't know why I'm doing this before I'm sticking the card down, but hey, there you go. So it's just got a little peel off, it's like double-sided tape, so you can just peel it off and pop him down, press him down well, and actually I will just stick this onto my card front. Actually, if I had a brain, there are moments I just worry. Let's fold the card first, shall we? Right, okay, let's stick the card front to the front of the card. And again, just a scribble of multi-purpose adhesive. I do love this stuff. It goes on forever. Not everyone likes it. I know it's kind of horses for courses. We all have our favourites. But I do like the multi-purpose liquid adhesive. So there we go. And then we can peel the backing off the other bit of our wobbler. Try not to hold the sticky bit too much. And then there is this little bit in the middle that you can take off as well. She says famous last words. Yep. So that is also sticky under there. And then all you do is decide where you want to have your jumping snowman and pop him down. And do kind of press him down well. And there he goes, he's so bouncy. Okay, right, after which, dimensionals. Now let's just, am I going to have that off? Can't decide. Or shall I have him? I think I might pop it there. Yeah, so I may actually keep it whole. Yeah, I think I'll keep it whole this time. So I don't need that many. I only need one. I don't know why I pulled off 3. Because my brain's not working, probably. Right, so we'll have it so that it's off the edge, but not off the edge, if that makes sense. And some of these lovely frosted and clear epoxy droplets. Now, they're not theoretically part of, you know, the suite that this is. Well, it's not really part of a suite. But look. So you've got, they're gorgeously deep, and they're, can you see the difference? So this is really, really shiny and this is frosted. Now I'm going to use the really, really shiny ones. And I'm going to grab my take a pick. And I'm going to do be careful with the point, it is sharp. I'm going to add one gem to the end of his hat, and then pop one. Might change where I've got my gems. So I'll have one there, one there, and one just there. Whoops, just there. There we are. So I like my threes. So I'm ignoring that one because that's not really part of my cluster of threes. So there we go. Whoops, why am I putting that away? I didn't want to put that away, I wanted to put that away. So there we are, our little jumping snowmen. Aren't they fun? As I say, I'll link all the products in my blog post, which is linked immediately below here. There's also links to various of my social media. So there's my Old Stables Craft Facebook page, so if you want to hop over there and like that page, that'd be lovely. There's also a link to my Old Stables Crafty Hangout, which is just a community group where you can just share lots of crafty ideas. Sorry, this is just too much fun. And below that there's a link to all my other social media, and it's just one link that takes you to some buttons that are other social media, including my online store. Don't forget, if you use the Hostess code, you will not only get to share in the Hostess rewards. For every £30 you spend in any one order, or multiple of £30, you will get one or multiples of sunflower rewards. And when you have 10 sunflower rewards, you get to spend £30. You just let me know what you want, and I will order £30 worth of product for you. So well worth hopping on board with that. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I do hope you enjoy looking at the Autumn Winter catalogue. As I say, if you don't already have a copy of it, please let me know and I'll get one out to you as soon as I possibly can, postage permitting. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!